Good morning, afternoon, evening, ladies and gents. We are delighted to have you all here today for an incredibly special and cathartic episode of The Kickback. Join with me here is the one and only, quite frankly, I think that it's very difficult to go through 4 years at Fordham University without seeing this gentleman's face. The one and only, the man behind Barnyard BBQ, Simon Kajtazi. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, it's kind of a shame that it's been quite some time since I've been to the Barnyard itself, and you guys are closing up shop. It's genuinely been a heartbreaking sight. I didn't realize how emotionally moved I would be upon walking in to see the streamers coming down and everything sort of changing. But at the same time, I can't help but think of all the wonderful nights I spent in here, whether it was a DJ night or everyone just dancing, tearing up the floor. Is there anything going through your mind right now as you guys are starting to?
Oh, I mean, listen, we had a nice little run.
Oh.
We had our little ups and downs. Things went well the last few weeks. Hopefully, soon we'll be venturing into a different place, better place, maybe. And I'm thinking everybody's gonna have fun there too.
That's right. You bring the fun with you. It's not limited to a square footage.
Oh yeah.
It sort of follows. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this place certainly harbors a lot of memories for a bunch of folks. I mean, our main man behind the camera, Finn, myself included, it was a very formative experience. And quite frankly, sort of a backbone to at least my experience last year. But are you able to share anything about the new location that you guys are thinking, or is that top secret? I don't want to bust anything open.
Right now, we have a couple of locations. We don't want to say and mention one.
Of course not.
Just in case people say, well, we thought you were going here, now
Right.
you're moving here, what's going on? So we're just going to keep it top secret for now.
That's right, top secret. This is classified stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep it, A1. So in the meantime, though, we obviously are The Kickback. We love talking about music. Music was an integral part of what you guys did here.
Yeah.
I want to actually kind of know about some of the basis and the framework that you guys did to get some of the DJs involved here. Was there any sort of method for picking anyone to play, or was it just sort of a sign-up sheet? If you can play here?
No, actually, I gave a lot of people, a lot of DJs chances who didn't even have a gig before. I gave a lot of DJs their first breaks. I was happy to do that because you know what? A lot of people don't get breaks. So I say, you don't have to be famous to DJ anywhere. You just got to be good. So they crawled, but then they started walking. Now they're little big shots, but I'm happy for them. I'm really happy for them.
That's right. They got to remember you at their award ceremonies. I mean, I find it hard. I think they'd be hard pressed to not mention the Barnyard.
Actually, a few of them did so far, on a post that I posted on the Barnyard page. I always try to help everybody, whether you're a DJ, a bartender, not even a bartender. We helped everybody succeed in any way they can to try to achieve something, whether it was like a DJ or a bartender or whatever it is. But we're very happy and everything worked out well.
Well, clearly, yeah. I mean, I noticed I almost wanted to cut you off at the start because you said we had a great little run, but I think it was practically generational. How many years was this place in place, I guess?
We were going on 9 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I guess that does predate us a little bit, Finn, but still, just by a hair. We still saw some of the glory days, if you will. But obviously, you mentioned DJs. That was the main sound that was played here. House music, electronica, I understand from our conversation beforehand, that's not really your style. That's not,
Listen, I listen to everything, but I'm more old school.
Of course.
I'm more old school, 80s music,
Yeah.
The 60s, Frank Sinatra,
Right.
Dion and the Belmonts. We were brought up to that culture of listening to that music through the area where we were lived and born and everything else like that. So it's, I like all kinds of music. I mean, actually, I was a I wanted to become a rapper one day.
Hey, there it is.
A lot of people don't know that. I actually wrote like 80 rap songs. And then my mother and my sister-in-law decided to clean my room and threw everything out.
That could have been, I mean, talk about a butterfly effect, right? Yeah, you're laughing. I mean, geez Louise, that could have been a whole nother turn of things. And this was, now you mentioned where you were brought up, that sort of music that surrounded it. Are you from New York City? Are you
Yes.
from one of the boroughs? Which area?
All my life. Bronx.
Lovely.
Bronx.
Damn straight.
Yes.
Bronx born. And then you mentioned some of the music that was going around here. Was it sort of, stereos hanging out the window playing tunes, or were there local gigs that you were at, or?
Well, back in the days, there was more nightclubs.
Sure.
So there was a ton of nightclubs back in the days. You had nightclubs everywhere in the city, Yonkers and stuff, places like that. It was easy to get into them. So that was the basic way that we listened to most of the music. Yes, we had stereos in the cars. I had one thing you could hear it 10 miles away. I'm surprised I'm not deaf. Maybe I am, who knows, but it's good, actually.
No, we'll take it. I mean, seriously, because, you mentioned that that nightclub culture and the act of dancing and, just being out and enjoying the music. And it's such a shame because I think a lot of folks in my generation, our generation, Finn, the whole point of going out is to enjoy a drink, maybe meet someone. There's not, I remember my father was all about, you get a few drinks in him, he's talking about, oh yeah, we used to bust out these groups and, the dancing. Do you think that's sort of lost a little bit? I mean, you saw it firsthand.
It's gone. Forget about Lost.
Oh my God.
Listen, it ain't like, I'm gonna even go just as far as, I would say 6 years ago.
Sure.
Even 6 years, 6 years ago and now, it's a way big difference in music, culture, dance, fun. I mean, maybe we're just in the wrong area. Could be that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nowhere near it. I remember, I've been running places since 1997.
Sure.
So I technically own Howell. I ran Howell for almost 10 years.
Jeez.
And back in the days, the student body count was a lot less than what we got now.
Right.
Millennium Hall, all these other places that are there now, they didn't even exist.
Right.
You had about 11 bars, I believe, back in the days. And
That's surreal.
when House the Moon opened up, it was family owned. Everybody owned it in my family. We kind of shut down a lot of places because it was the new thing. More different music, fun life, nightlife.
Yeah.
It was more, party,
Yeah.
And you can't compare that to today. Forget about
No.
today. No way.
You see a lot of folks, it's, whether you're on your phone or kind of just looking around for your friends or taking care of someone. I will say, because we see a lot of, images and, obviously older video clips of clubs and bars and things from that, era. And it's
Yeah.
like, what was in the air? What was in the air? Especially compared to
Fun.
now. Exactly. My girlfriend always makes a point of, I want to go out and I want to dance with my friends. I want to dance with you. I want to dance. And I feel, I'm like, hey, good on you. Keep trying to bring it back. But for the most part, it was always tricky. I have a video actually from one of my first nights at Fordham coming in here, and I was videotaping Alessandro, one of our previous guests, and he was busting a move and he was having a great time, but there was a kind of a shell around him. You know what I mean? It was sort of empty, and it kind of breaks my heart seeing that come up again. I'm like, whoa, hang on, But I also do think that it's kind of a changing of the times. I think, maybe something about the phone, maybe something about, and also the sheer number of bars. That's something I want to definitely circle back to, because I think that's a pretty common complaint. Correct me if I'm wrong, Finn, but yeah, he nods in approval. That I think there's 3 or 4, 2. There's Clinton Hall, Howell. That's pretty much it. There was the Last Call that sort of bounced between Last Call, Fish Bar, and had a little rigmarole. I think it's sort of lost some of its heat after the shedding of its skin, if you will. But you said 11 bars. Were they going down Belmont and Hughes, just sort of stretching out, or
They
Arthur?
were between Belmont and Fordham Road and Webster Avenue.
Down Web, so it was down like that way more because that's seen as sort of a ghost town kind of a thing. Or
You had,
you know,
you had Gallagher's, you had Tinker's still, which is still there, but it's not more like that. You had the Lantern, you had, oh my God, you had the Ram, you had Tomato, Upper Deck, Powell, you had Ziggy's, you had, oh my God, there was the Bridge. There was a place called the Bridge.
yeah.
There was a lot of places. You had another one by the funeral parlor. It was a whole bunch of places. And that's it. And you want to hear something crazier was the student body count, like I said before, was a lot less.
Yes.
A lot less. Every place was packed back then.
Unreal.
And other colleges, they didn't hear about these places because there was no social media.
Right.
You know, like there is today. What's the hot spot? Where to go? Where not to go? Not that I want to toot my own horn, but I think Barnyard is like one of the most famous places, I think, as far as college-wise, I think I could probably say in New York. I could like literally put a stamp on it.
You've been around to say, I mean, I don't think I didn't hear any horns tooted, did you? I sure didn't, because you're correct. I mean, this place was legendary. From the moment I landed in New York LaGuardia last year, I got a text from you and a couple other goofballs that I had met just the week before saying, we're going to Barnyard. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know what's going on, but all I know is that I'm going. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, the hospitality is and was and always will be, even the next place that we get, was good.
Yes.
As far as security, we had countless amount of security to make sure that everybody was safe.
That's right.
We put the most expensive juices in our drinks. And they were all real juices, not watered down stuff.
Right.
So we respected our customers regardless of some Fordham students, if not a lot of Fordham students, fell back on Barnyard, but it is what it is. We hold no grudges. We just feel bad that nobody got this year to really have fun like other previous students had fun. Right. But it's all right. A lot of people thought I was faking that we were going to close. Yes, I did mention this once about 2 or 3 years ago, and a lot of Fordham students came out. I've asked a whole bunch of Fordham students that night, should I close? Should I not close? I think I made some good money to take care of some stuff what I had to take care of. They were like, listen, you're crazy for closing. For what? To make other people happy? Huh. I kept it open, but now it is, we're at that point where, like they say, put a fork in it.
Right. I mean, it sounds like the time has come, but I'm just beyond happy that you guys are planning on, a sequel, if you will, around
Well,
two.
It's going to be a different sequel.
Sure.
It's going to be a lot more stricter with a lot of things. It's going to be a lot more tighter. It's going to be a tighter ship run.
By all means.
But
yeah, absolutely.
Same hospitality, same expensive stuff that we're going to be giving out. We're not going to cut no shorts. I could have did that many years ago. A lot of people were telling me, friends especially, man, you got to be crazy. How do you put real cranberry juice in drinks? How can you afford Tropicana orange juice? Or how can you afford real Red Bull? So I was like, listen, you want to give people what they pay for. And, I was really, 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 if you want to say, I cared about the pricing and I should have cared a lot more, actually. But since Corona, I never went up a dime on my drinks or the entry fee, which a lot of people, were happy about, at least,
Right. That's the mark of a true businessman, in my opinion. I don't mean to, get all, close up to you here, but seriously, that's incredibly impressive. And I mean, it seems like that this party, that's, from what I've gained from what you just said there, that's your true value. The experience, the personability, the general enjoyment of your customers, your people, it's sort of one of your own. Was that something that, you know, came from something in your younger age? Was that something you experienced through music or, you know, through your family life or Bronx community?
Well, listen, when I used to go out to nightclubs, you'd look at who has the cheapest drinks, the cheapest entry. And I said to myself, look, the other guy's got maybe 100 people in there. This other guy's got about 1,000 people in it. What is he doing? What is he doing good that the other guy's not doing good? The guy with 100 people, he had a place that looked like it was made out of gold.
Oh my God.
There was only 100 people in there though. The other guy had the place that looked like it got hit by a tornado.
Right.
But you know what? The prices were cheap, the product was cheap, and the hospitality was really good. So growing up and going to these places, you say, listen, if he's doing something right, why wouldn't it work?
Right.
So I did that.
Which is incredible. I mean, because that's something that, you know, you get to take away from. And clearly it made a lasting impact for almost a decade. Good Lord, you guys stood your ground.
I think, you know, it's been a hell of a ride, a beautiful ride. I don't regret anything. I say to all the students who supported Barnyard, I love you to death, you know, all the students. And I just wish that we could have kept it going, but let's see what happens on the next venture, hopefully soon.
That's right. And I do just want to spend a couple minutes, you know what I mean? Because it's like, there's such a music-centric thing going on here between the DJs and everything spilling out into the streets. Was there any, you know, favorite? I know you mentioned between Sinatra and Madonna and all sorts of, you know, between the 60s and the 80s. Did you have a favorite artist or something that really shaped, you know, your interest in music or wanting to, you know, create an experience for people?
Well, when I grew up, it was all 80s music. Then rap came out, you know, in the 80s. And I said, you know what? We had a pizzeria where the check cashing place is right here on Fordham, right across the street from White Castles.
Yep.
And it was called Side by Side Pizza and Bagels. And so my older brother, he had some DJ equipment, and we'd bring it upstairs, right, in the bagel shop. Now, all the bars that were up on Fordham, the students would let out, come to the pizzeria and eat, and we'd play music. So that's how we got into that kind of music, the rap music, all that other stuff. I mean, I got a lot of favorite musicians that I listen to on my YouTube when I'm home or my car, whatever it is. Then I jumped into the rap scene, trying to at least, you know. But my mom and my sister, like I said, threw away most of my work that I'd done, so I didn't remember none of it.
Sure.
But all music is my favorite, actually. But like the '80s music and the '50s, '60s music, I don't think anything's gonna beat that. I mean, I'm not trying to, you know, say anything, but that's the music I was brought up with. You know?
Of course. And it's funny because you're being, you know, and I appreciate how, you know, respect you're trying to say, you know, maybe nothing will be beat. When you texted me the artist, I had asked you like, what kind of stuff to listen to? I jumped out of my chair. I was like, thank God, you know, of course he likes that stuff, but
everybody,
you know, but you mentioned rap in that era. Are we talking Run DMC, Grandmaster Flash?
Run DMC, Grandmaster Flash, you had Slick Rick, you had a whole bunch of people, Wu-Tang, all that other stuff.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that's what a lot of the people, the rappers actually, there was a couple of, a club or two on Fordham, Mirage, if I remember, and another one, the Castle, was a little bit more down on.
These are well-named places. These are
a lot of these actually rappers would come to the bagel shop at night after they performed and all that stuff, and that's why I met a lot of actually rappers. I met so many people. And just joking around with them, I'd be like, you know, this is the beginning stages. I'm a lot better than that, but I got a hat. I hit it with a cat and bat and all that, joking around stuff.
Yeah.
And they would look at me like, all right, stick to your pizza.
Yeah, like keep it moving.
Yeah.
Oh my God, because that really was such a golden era, and like you said, I mean, that was definitely a big jump from, you know, the early mid 80s where, you know, funk and disco had transitioned into something lyrical, into something soulful, you know, the combination of R&B in there and the, you know, the sampling as well. I mean, there was, you know, to the best of my knowledge, I understand that there was a great blackout in New York City in either the 70s. Was that, could you help me out? Was that in the 70s or was that in the 80s?
If I'm right, I know it was in the 70s.
I figured,
late
yeah.
70s. And I remember because like we were kids and all of a sudden all the lights out. Back then, the rich only had air conditioners.
Yep.
So we were a family of 9. So we were in a 3-bedroom apartment in the hottest of the summer. So you got out of this stuff. So everybody's like worrying, oh my God, it's too hot. What's happening? So we didn't know. So, but yeah, I would say definitely it was in the late 70s.
Okay, thank you, because I'm always, you know, trying to figure out what that was, because that was, according to a whatever music professional you want to call it, that was sort of the grand spreading, the big, you know, explosion of suddenly people have this equipment and they're able to do what they hear on the radio and then take that, sample it, put their own lyrics over it, put their own spin on it. Yep. You know, I do want to take a second on your DJ, because again, forgive me, but that's a little bit hysterical for me, because I always saw you as well. It's Simon the doorman. He's a good man. He's taking care of business. The last thing I would have imagined is that you were rocking a turntable.
Actually, we had my brother had them, but I'd use them and he'd be like, hey, get off my thing, you're gonna break them, you know. But we had, they were called Technique 1200s.
Sure.
The best DJ equipment you could ever get. There's no other thing that you could get.
Right.
They had the diamond point needle things for the records. You'd scratch them, you know, you'd be doing all that stuff. It was a lot of fun back in the days, believe me. You can't, listen, a lot of people today, even you, a lot of the young kids today, will never experience anything like that.
No, sir.
Never.
No, sir. It's all electronic. I mean, because that was when you actually had to flip the disc over, you're moving.
You had to move the thing, this and that. So if you had to do any kind of noises or whatever it is, your hands were doing it.
Right.
You know?
Which is unbelievable, because, you know, I get sent and I get shown a lot of...
There was no auto-tune either.
No, sir. Which has made a big difference on people, you know, it's created whole careers out of it, you know?
I used auto-tune.
But I mean, you see videos occasionally, I see videos occasionally, maybe you do too, Fen, of people that, you know, that still do that old school technique, and they are bombarded in their comments and their likes with...
Well, it's real stuff, you know?
Right.
You're not using what's that thing called? Those machines. You're sampling.
Yeah.
You're sampling off the record, not sampling off of other stuff. You know, most of the stuff I don't know the names of, but yeah. Listen, either which way, people know which is real, which is not.
Yeah, it's a click now. It's very, it's all electronic. It's pure. Oh my God. Well, I tell you, you know, I obviously you guys have a lot going on here, so, you know, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but, you know, to help us wrap up, is there any, you know, artist or show that you'd recommend to our listeners that, you know, would really help them grasp the 80s sound, the 60s sound, you know?
Well, listen.
Or a couple, whatever.
I mean, an artist is an artist. It depends on, it's like I mean, I'm going to put it in this perspective.
Give it to me.
If you got a chicken parmesan, you want to make it taste better, you add salt and pepper.
Right.
You know, so same thing with the artist. It's like to the ear, which one sounds better, who it's a high note, who it's the low note. No. You know, I don't believe in because this guy sold or that girl sold 6 billion copies, they're better. Listen, the music to your ears, everybody has their own eardrums, their sound, their whatever it is they like. I mean, a lot of times, don't get me wrong, a lot of times since I've been working, you say to yourself, oh yeah, who sings that song? And then you're like, oh my God, that person sang that song? You know, it's crazy, but it's the truth. A lot of people are like that. Like my son and my daughter, they're like, I'm like, oh wow, who played this music? And they're like, Dad, it's this person. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Meanwhile, they sang other songs that I like, but I didn't know it was them. Yeah. But music, it's something that everybody listens to, everybody cherishes it, everybody has their own little idols who they listen to. Me, I went to 2 concerts. One of them was Janet Jackson, and the other one was Billy Joel.
Wonderful.
Back in the days. And I've never been to another concert. I'm not gonna lie to you, but those are the two concerts that I've been to, and I remember them like it was yesterday.
If I'd seen those two, I'm not sure I'd go to another one either. You know, why ruin it for yourself?
Wow. I couldn't believe how close I was at Janet Jackson's concert, and it was fun.
Gotcha.
It was fun.
Well, I look around, I hear around, I see you guys got a lot more to do.
Sorry about that. I mean,
Hey.
we're trying to finish up today.
Of course.
Is our last day. Tomorrow we got to go and surrender the keys. But we just want to let everybody know that maybe Barnyard is gone, but hopefully soon the fun will continue and the new place.
That's music to our ears, no pun intended. Thank you all so much for joining myself, your host, Frank Spacuzza, and the wonderful and incredibly talented DJ, apparently, Mr. Simon. Simon, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Problem, buddy.
We
Thank
appreciate
you,
it greatly. Tune in.
Follow us at the Upperclassmen Bar on Instagram. I'm not sure we're going to name it that, but we're going to hold on to that handle.
Perfect.
And we're going to stick by it too.
Smart man. Thank you all for joining us here on The Kickback. We'll see you all next week for another kick-ass episode of content. Peace.